Okay, so my final game. This is the first tournament game I played where it was an opponent I had played before. Michael was my first ever over the board opponent. And he's probably 11 or 12 when I played him the first time. Oh, what was he rated the first time I played him? The first time I played Michael, he was rated 972. And you can see 1104, Michael has improved substantially since March when I played him. So it was interesting. He beat me pretty badly in the first game I played against him. And I remember that game. I had been at material. He had blundered fairly early. He blundered fairly early in that game, but then I blundered back and it was not recoverable. And so I did lose that first game against him. So I was like, okay, time for vengeance. I know his play style. I know what to expect. But last time, he played as white, but this time I played as white. So guess what? Queen's Gambit, baby. No. No. We didn't get a Queen's Gambit in this tournament. Instead, I was like, do we go for a Trimpowski? Thank you for the follow, Mr. Apple 289. How are you doing today? Hope you're doing well. So I was like, oh, I only know like 2 moves of Trimpowski theory. Do I go for it? It was the final game of the tournament. I was maybe a little bit loopy from thinking for so long and just getting beaten so badly in game 3. You're good? That's good to hear. I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. I'm reviewing my final tournament game where I play a Trimpowski. And after this, I'm like, I don't know any theory. Let's see if Michael knows any theory. He kicks the bishop, which I was very happy about because I know this move. I take. And then I'm completely fine. Because then it's just normal development. Engine says E3 is best, but whatever, we go for the C4. Make it a Queen's Gambit even when it's not. Hello, Mr. Ice. What tourney did I play? It was a local tournament, nothing like special. They have them most Saturdays. And he gives a check with the bishop. I decide to block with the knight because it doesn't seem very scary to have take with this like weird little pawn structure. It's pretty common. And he makes an odd move here. I think the idea is to get his bishop out. And I complete my pawn chain. It's a miss. Do you see the idea? Do you see the idea that I missed here? I'll give you a second. Queen A4 check. Yeah. Queen A4 check. Wins material. And just to follow the line through, they block with the knight. And then a D5 push. And no matter what they do here, I think this is their best try. Still pinned. And then rook B8, Engine says is best try. And interestingly, you don't go for this, probably because this is incoming and then you're in kind of trouble. Yeah, the knight is still pinned. The knight cannot move. So after this, Engine suggests sliding back because it's still pinned. And then no matter what try Black makes, there's just too much at stake, right? So what does Engine say? Engine says bishop c5. So bringing the bishop up. And then from here, you take with the pawn. So you're up material, right? Hi, Adam. How are we doing? We're doing good. Doing a tournament game review. The final game. So I did miss this. I was a little bit of an opening robot here, not looking for my checks. And this is actually a very common check for me to miss. So it's a tactical idea I need to work on. But I did miss it. He moves the knight out, so it's no longer an idea that works. So I continue developing. He tries to pin the knight. I moved the bishop to unpin the knight, and, you know, it's a fine square for my bishop for now. I wasn't mad about that. He castles, I castle. He moves a rook to a semi-open file. I try to kick the bishop. He takes, I take. And then Michael makes a blunder. And immediately as he lifts his hand off the piece, he sees his mistake and is devastated. He sees his mistake and is devastated because of this. He was so mad at himself. I could see it. But, of course, I had to capitalize on his mistake. I had to. And his frustration was palpable, because I'm up a piece now. But, remember, I've played Michael before, and I've been in this situation before, where he blundered and I was up a piece. So, I was not out of the woods yet. But I figured I could play a little aggressively here because I was up material, and it was a long day. I'll admit I was tired and I just wanted to go home. So I was playing super aggressively, just attacking everything I could, worming my way into his position, trying to force trades. How old is Michael again? He was probably 12. Probably 12. So I force a trade here where I have a bishop. Still rocking, always on off, always. So he brings a rook, and I decide to say, nope, you are not staying on the 5th. If you want to stay on the 5th, I will take your piece, gladly, please and thank you. And if he did want to trade here, I would double my pawns. So, go ahead, trade me, I dare you. Dare declined. So I figure, okay, well, my rook is here. I'll move it kingside, just line up the arsenal to Michael's king, because I do have the strong advantage, right? And so now I'm threatening to win a pawn because this pawn is pinned. Common theme from this tournament is that pinned pawn idea. But Michael disallows that by moving his king. And I give a check with my bishop, thinking, haha, me attack. And then he moves here. And I'm going to actually cover the eval bar for the next couple moves, because I am really curious what you think of the next sequence. I spent 15 minutes on this move. I spent 15 minutes on this move, and I was devastated because I thought I had made the exact same mistake I made in my first game with Michael, where I was up material and then I blundered back. And I thought I had done the same thing here, because no matter what I do, this idea is happening. And if this happens, right? And I was like, I biffed it. I lost my game against Alec because of a one-move blunder. I genuinely thought this was a blunder. You've got to go, Mr. Apple. Have a good one. Have good luck. Thank you. And thanks for hopping in. Hope you have a good day or evening. And maybe I'll see you around. So yeah, I spent literally 15 minutes in this position trying to think, what is the best way to not lose as much material as possible? I considered bishop takes g6, but it doesn't work because queen has eyes on h6, pawn is here, king, like everything is so well guarded, so well guarded, that I just didn't know what to think. I really didn't. I thought of so many different ideas. I was like, what if I bring the rook this way? Like, the rook is too close to do any good on h5, and it's in danger. And so 15 minutes, one of Michael's friends came by and asked, like, or just like kind of a look. He was like, and Michael just gestured at me, like, because I was thinking so long in this position. I didn't care. I was trying to win a game. And so the move I went with here. What did I do? I went rook h3. It's excellent. Bishop c2 would have been best. But thank you for the follow, Eskia SC2. And I figured, okay, I'm gonna lose my bishop, but at least my rook staying on h leaves attacking power, right? And so just because I'm curious, I actually haven't explored this. Bishop to c2 is best move. And what happens if they do this? Rook takes f5. And then why can't they just take back immediately? Oh, well, yeah, actually that's really cool. I didn't see that. Because if they take, check here wins all the material. King h8. You can take their rook back. If they want to take, then you're just up. You're up everything. So I did not spot that in the game, despite spending many, many, many minutes. I went rook h3. And my idea being, okay, I lose the bishop, but at least the king is completely vulnerable. I felt like I had some kind of mating attack possibility here. So even though I was now no longer up a piece, I thought I had maybe some compensation. And then he moved here. And I realized I don't have a mating attack. And I'm gonna actually, I'll pause here. I would like chat to play a game of guess the eval right now. I hid the eval bar for this position. What do you think the eval in this position is? Go ahead and let me know your thoughts. I'll reveal it after, but I want you to be in my shoes from the tournament for a second. Remember the lore. I lost to Michael my first game because I blundered back. Peak Music guesses mate in 4. Any other guesses? Prof guesses +3, -3, +10 for white. Tiburly 9300. Any other guesses? Because I stared at this position for quite a while too. Thanks for the follow, it's Morgan time. And I see +1.5, +2. So it's a really interesting position from a guess the eval perspective. Oh, thanks for the follow, Peak Music. I appreciate it. because materially, white is only up a pawn. And I I wasn't feeling 100% logical. This was the end of a long 8-hour chess day. Wasn't going great for me from a tournament perspective. I hated the moves that had just happened. I was so mad at myself. And I couldn't see a mate. I looked for it really hard, Amuser, but it's not mate in 3. In fact, there's no mate here. I looked really hard for a mate, but no matter where my pieces went, the king could hide. The king could hide, and I was really like, of the 45 minutes on my clock to start with, I was down to 18 minutes or so at this point because I had spent so long here that I offered a draw. I offered a draw. I was, yeah, peak. I was like, okay, I can force a draw, just kind of giving check back and forth and back and forth. And I genuinely thought that was my best chance in this game. There was no way for me to make forward progress on this current attack. So I offered a draw, and Michael pounced on that draw like nobody's business. And I genuinely thought it was equal here. Genuinely thought it was equal here. And I did not feel confident in my ability to play this game out for a win. Materially, maybe, but my pawn structure, like Michael's pawns, looked way more formidable than mine. My rook was not in the game yet on f1. So I genuinely thought it was equal. When I got home and looked at the eval bar, +3. +3. And I looked really hard at the continuation here. I looked really hard for the continuation to see, like, where is the advantage? Do you get material? Is there mate? No. I played this game out for like 15 more moves, and it is a long slog of a game where it is not an easy win. Like, there's no way to force more material off the board. So even though I was mad at myself for drawing in a pretty winning position, given the time on my clock compared to Michael's clock, he probably had 38 minutes on the clock. And remember, this was move 25, and I had about 18 minutes on the clock. So that was the end of the tournament. So 4 games, I got 1.5 points. I was really mad that I didn't do better in this tournament because I've been playing great chess online. But, you know, I had formidable opponents today. Sebastian went on to win the entire section. He was my first opponent in the under 1400. I genuinely think he's rated 1600 or so. He just hasn't acclimated to his provisional rating yet. Alec was a phenomenally accurate opponent who was very, very good at capitalizing on my errors. And Michael had the advantage that he beat me last time we played, so I was a little nervous about it. What are the follow-up moves? Yeah, we can play this game out. So I have them stored in my game here. So king moves, you give a check, give another check, but the king can continue going back and forth in that little corner forever. So there's no forward progress there. So best move is to bring the rook. I think who suggested a rook lift in chat, but rook lift was the right idea, prof. And lift the rook. But even with a rook lift, it's not super clear because Michael's able to move his pieces too. And so everything's kind of shuffling around. White, I suppose, is making better forward progress here, kind of like squishing into Black's king's territory, whereas Black's pieces have to just stay here to guard. But the pawns, I was scared of the pawns. And a little bit of wiggling. What are the follow-up moves? Oh, that's the end of the game. So these were all follow-up moves, the ones I was just showing. And the follow-up moves were best moves from the engine. So just kind of like little bit of piece wiggling, little bit of piece wiggling. Go for the rook lift, bring it in to do a little bit more of the wiggling. Oh, a little more wiggling, a little more wiggling. And with perfect accurate play, plus 4 for white. So still no mate. Still no mate. Have to be really patient to play that way. I agree. And while the patience is patienting, these pawns are a pushing. So that was my tournament. And I got home and I was like, how do I not feel frustrated about over the board chess? Because this meant that I had played 16 games over the board in this time control at this tournament. And on the plus side, my board vision is getting better. I missed fewer tactics. I think I only missed one tactic in this tournament, and that was the bishop check in my game with Ian. So board vision getting better. Literally everything else not getting better. And my 1800 rapidchess.com self is like, okay, I am not happy with this. I am not happy with this. I don't want to be 3 digits over the board. But what can I do? Speaking of games that require patience, I think over the board I just have to have patience because your elo progress is so slow. If you don't win, everything is so slow. But I checked my updated rating and it actually did go up from this tournament because my win against Ian, he was rated 1065, right? So I think my new provisional rating is like 965. So yeah, almost 4 digits. But what I liked about this tournament was the way it allowed me to think about the chess, especially in my game with Sebastian. I really liked this game. I really liked how much we were able to marinate on the ideas and the position and just slow improvement over time. And I lost this one on time, but I think it was a very valuable game to learn from for me. And I'll get there soon. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I think I believe that. I think I do. And another part for me is I just need to stop caring about what other people may think. Like, I can have the tendency to be very, very concerned about how I'm perceived by others. So I think to myself, oh, people are going to see that I'm rated 921 and make assumptions about me. But so what if they do? That's not the point of why I play chess. I don't play chess to like have people look at me and be like, oh, she's really good at chess. No, I play chess because it's fun and infuriating.